What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, we're breaking down the best builds that you should build to defeat the upcoming 7-star Tyranitar raid for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. This is going to include builds that work for solo play, online play, and online support as well. And we're going to break it all down here. Of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel by joining the Pan Fam. I hit that join channel member button below. Now, our breakdown of the Tyranitar raid, my predictions. Facts that we know is going to be Terra Ghost. It will have its hidden ability Unnerved, meaning you can't use berries, which is whatever. It'll probably be times 35 max HP. And looking at the stats here, we know that Tyranitar is a beast of a Pokemon. Insane physical attack stat. So 134, you're going to have a Pokemon that can take some physical hits. If you have bad physical defense, then that Pokemon is not going to work. It also has great defensive stats, 100 HP, 110 defense, and 100 special defense. Means it's going to be taking hits really well in general. The only bad stat is its speed, and it has potential to increase that speed with a Dragon Dance. So, potential could be outspeeding us with that. And even its special attack stat, 95, it's respectable enough to have one special attacking move on this Pokemon. Now, the moves I think this Tyranitar is going to have when the raid releases is Stone Edge or Rock Slide. It's definitely going to have some sort of stab rock move, Crunch for a stab dark move. Shadow Claw is the best physical ghost move it can learn via TM, so most likely that, or it could be Terra Blast. Shadow Claw has a high crit, so I sort of rather see Terra Blast than Shadow Claw, but they're essentially the same in that regard. It does learn Earthquake via level up, so there's a good chance for that. And then for some coverage, I think Brick Break would be great because Brick Break will allow it to beat both Dark types and Steel types that may want to come in to be resistant to Rock or to Dark type moves. Now, two status moves it could be using. Dragon Dance increases attack and increases its speed, could make Tyranitar an absolute menace. And Screech is a move that it actually has on its 6-star raid moveset. And Screech can absolutely be devastating. A turn 0 Screech against you could be really problematic and can make a lot of raid builds fail. So keep in mind for that. And now for my predictions on what the best builds will be. And of course, when the raid is out, we will have an updated video on that. But I think a lot of people are going to go towards Annihilate first. So let's start with him. So Annihilate, you're fighting in Ghost. So yes, you are weak to Ghost, but you're neutral to Dark and you do resist Rock. So that's pretty decent. You want to have Terra, Ghost, and the Shell Bell. And max attack, max defense will probably be the most optimal way to run this Pokemon with an adamant nature. And you want the ability Defiant. So for some reason, if the Tyranitar hits you for Crunch, and it lowers your defense, you're going to get a +2 attack boost, so keep that in mind. Also, let's say it has Screech, it lowers your defense with Screech, well, you're going to get a Defiant boost as well. So Defiant will actually make up for some of those defense drops that we might be getting in this raid. But it's going to be a relatively simple raid build. So one, Rage Fist is going to be your main damage move. Whenever you get hit, this move will do 50 more damage, capping at 300. Even if you faint, it will still have the power level increase. But this is going to be your main damage move. Now, Bulk Up is going to be our main way to buff. Maybe one Bulk Up will be helpful. Give you +1 attack and +1 defense, a little bit more survivability. Focus Energy can help you land a critical hit. So that will give you a 50% chance of critting, which can really save your life. And honestly, you can only have to pop this one time. When you die, you do have to repop it. But once you have it up, you're probably going to be good for the rest of the raid. And I actually like Taunt here a lot, because the Tyranitar might have something like Dragon Dance or Screech or annoying setup moves. So we can actually use this on turn 1 in the raid to prevent any setup that it might have. And if it doesn't have any setup, then you can replace this for another move. But the important thing is Rage Fist and Bulk Up are going to be your 2 necessary moves to get through this raid. Now, if you don't have an Annihilate, I think King Ambit with the Terra Dark can be very good here with the Shell Bell. Now, you're a Dark and Steel type Pokemon, so you resist Rock, and you're going to resist Ghost, and you're going to resist Dark as well, which is gonna be really nice. And Terra Dark allows you to resist Ghost and Dark too. Now, max HP, max attack is what I'm running, but I would say max attack, max defense will be a little bit more optimal. Adamant Nature, and once again, you have Defiant, so same thing. Get hit by a Crunch, potentially get that attack boost. Same with a Screech. And Kowtow Cleave will be our main damaging move, and we can increase our defenses with Iron Defense. We can increase our attack with Swords Dance. And you can use Leer when the shields aren't up to lower the defense by 1. You most likely will just be hitting Swords Dance and Iron Defense and Kowtow Cleave to do your main damage. Now, I'll say this. If the Tyranitar for some reason has a fighting type move like Brick Break, then this will absolutely not be working. So keep that in mind, that King Gambit might have an issue if there is any fighting type moves. I do want to mention once again about Annihilate going back that you are weak to Ghost, so keep that in mind. If you get hit by a lot of Shadow Claws, well, you might not have enough time to set up and win the raid. Now, another great build you can make within the base game is Crocodile with the Ground and Dark, so you resist Ghost, Rock, and Dark with the Shell Bell and the Terra Dark. Max HP, max attack is what I have here as my standard one, but you can go max attack, max defense with an Adamant Nature. And I have Intimidate because I think it's going to be the most consistent ability. Lowering that attack by 1 is going to be nice to start the raid off with. And the build I like is Crunch, Breaking Swipe, Bulk Up, and Power Trip. So you want to start the raid with like 3 Breaking Swipes. You're going to lower that physical attack stat, build up your Terra charge, and then you want to hit at Terra. Then you can start going for some Bulk Ups too. Bulk Up, increase your attack and defense by 1 each, which is going to be nice. And then you can start spamming Crunches, try to lower that defense. But Power Trip will actually do more damage than Crunch. After your second Bulk Up, you will be doing as much, you'll actually be doing more damage than Crunch. So Power Trip will be better, but you know, I like having Crunch here as a last move. Now, if you don't want to have Crunch, you could put Mud Slap to lower the accuracy of the Tyranitar to buy you some time so you can set up a little bit more on the Bulk Up side. Now, if you're like +3/+3 attack and defense, then Power Trip will absolutely do better than Crunch. So keep that in mind. Now, next up is Hisuian Samurott with the Terra Dark and the Shell Bell. And because you are a Dark type, you will be resisting the Ghost and the Dark type moves coming. And max HP, max attack is what I have, but I think max attack, max defense with an Adamant Nature is the most optimal. Now we're going to be going with a Sharpness ability. This is going to increase the damage of slashing moves like Night Slash. So that's going to be the most optimal. And it's pretty simple. So we're going to be using Chilling Water to lower its physical attack on the Tyranitar. Also building up our Terra Orb, which is going to be really helpful. To boost our physical attack, we do have Swords Dance. And if we can pop a Screech off 1 or 2 of these, is going to be really helpful to make the raid go even quicker. I do think this build will be slept on. I think it will actually be pretty solid overall. Now, if you do have a Pokemon Home or you have the DLC, you can transfer over Urshifu or have it in the game and get the Dark version of Urshifu, the Single Fist form. Now, Fighting Dark is actually a really good base typing because you're going to resist Rock and you're going to resist Ghost and you're going to resist Dark here. So really good with the Terra Dark and the Shell Bell. Max HP, max attack, Adamant Nature, or you can go max defense instead of HP. And what's really cool is your signature move, Wicked Blow, always crits. So it's going to do stab, super effective damage, and critical hit. So that's going to be crazy. And I think the best other 2 moves to support you is going to be Swords Dance and Iron Defense. Swords Dance to get your attack up, Iron Defense to get your defense up. I do think getting your defense up is going to be pretty important just because Urshifu can be it's not frail, but it's not as strong defensively as some of the other options. And if for some reason we are out of Wicked Blows, I would just have Crunch here as a backup move. But I think 8 Wicked Blows should be enough to get you through the raid. Now, if you have Arceus, Terra Dark Arceus with the Dread Plate will be pretty solid because Dark is a really good defensive type here. Max HP, max special attack with a Modest Nature is what I have on mine. This is just my general Arceus. And pretty much Chilling Water to lower that physical attack, build that Terra charge, Terra as quickly as possible. Then you're going to want to go for Acid Spray, lower that special defense as well. And then you can go for the Judgment, which will be doing Dark type damage because you have the Dread Plate on. And whenever you're low on HP, you can go for a Recover to get 50% of your HP back. And that'll be a pretty solid raid build as well. Now, I got a couple of online supporter builds. Umbreon is going to be a really great supporter build. I think most people have an Umbreon at this point. You know, once again, you're going to resist Ghost and Dark. You're going to have the item Shell Bell. Max HP, max defense with a plus defense nature will be very ideal here. And you're going to be so bulky, you're going to be able to do whatever you want. So there's a lot of different ways to play Umbreon, but I think to help physical attackers, you're going to want Screech here. If you're going to be playing with special attackers, you're going to want to have Fake Tears here. Both are going to be great. Mud Slap is going to be your main move to deal with the Tyranitar. You're going to lower the accuracy, so make it so it can't really hit your team, so your team not going to die, and it's going to be incredibly good. You have Reflect to increase your team's defense, and then you also have Taunt to boost remove any setup moves. Now, if it has no setup moves, you can replace Taunt with something like Helping Hand to help your allies out, so that'll be really good. You can also put Snarl here if it has special attacking moves to lower its special attack stat. Or hey, you can put Crunch or Dark Pulse if you want to do a little bit of damage as well. Now, another great support build I would recommend is the Overquill. Overquill is phenomenal. We're going to have Terra Dark for the Shell Bell. And we have Intimidate, so you come into the battle, lowers the attack by 1, which is going to be really nice. Max HP with max defense with a plus defense nature. And very similar, Chilling Water is just going to be going down on this Tyranitar, lowering that physical attack stat. So you can pretty much make it essentially not a threat at all. You can use Acid Spray to help your special attackers out if you have any on your side of the field. Acupressure to set up your allies, gives them +2 to a random stat. So you hope for some good ones like attack or special attack, defense, things like that, evasion. And then you can also do some damage with some stab, hair boosted crunches that can definitely do a number on this Pokemon. And I think those are going to end up being the 2 most consistent support builds. But there you have it, guys. That is all of the builds I recommend for defeating the upcoming Tyranitar raid. Stay tuned for more coverage on Tyranitar on this channel. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out and have a great one.